exercising, reading a book, meditating, sleeping on time. Everybody knows that these habits are going to add a lot of value in our lives. But still, why can't be consistent in these habits? On the other hand, consuming alcohol, inhaling drugs, smoking, procrastinating, and scrolling Instagram feeds for hours together, everybody knows that these habits are not going to add value in our lives. Instead of that, these habits are ruining our life. But still, why we be consistent in these habits? To understand the science behind the habits, today we are going to see about a great book on habits written by James Clear, The Atomic Habits. Everybody has different set of goals in their life. Someone want to become an engineer, someone want to become a doctor, someone want to become a lawyer, someone want to become an entrepreneur, someone want to become a YouTuber. But if you break down these goals, it would come to yearly goals. If you break down these yearly goals, it would come to monthly goals. If you break down these monthly goals, it would come to weekly goals. And if you break down these weekly goals, it would come to daily goals. And to perform these daily goals, you need to have a specific set of good habits so that you have that energy to perform. From this, James Clear, who is the author of Atomic Habits, clearly explains how important is it to have a good habit and how important is to focus on process rather than focusing on goals, rather than focusing on results. Because he says that if you focus on process, eventually it would lead you to the result you want, and eventually it would even lead you to the places which you didn't even expect it. Now let's understand how a habit is formed. A habit is formed of 4 steps: cue, cravings, response, and reward. Cue is the trigger which is being sent to your mind saying that if you do that thing, you will get the reward. Second, cravings. Cravings is your mind second motivational force which is telling you that if you do this thing, you would get that instant dopamine. Third thing is response. Response happens because of this 2 steps, cue and cravings. And the 4th step is reward. How do you feel after performing a thing? That's what is called as reward. Now you would have got a better understanding on how a habit is formed. Now let's understand how to be consistent in a habit. A habit stays in life only when it's obvious, only when it's easy, only when it's attractive, only when it's satisfying. Only if it ticks all these 4 boxes, a habit stays in your life. Okay, let's live speaking scientifically, logically, psychologically, everything. I will give a quick example how does a habit is formed and how does a habit stays consistent in a life. Let's say that if you want to form a habit of reading book, it would form only when it's obvious. It would form only if you have a book or if you have a PDF downloaded in your laptop. That is when it's obvious. It would form only when it's easy. Only when it's easy to read, a habit is formed. If you don't understand the language or if you don't understand what is there in the book, you can't form that habit. Only a habit is formed only if it is attractive. If you don't like that niche, if you don't like the content which is there in your book, you won't be consistent reading book. And the 4th point is only when it's satisfying, you would be in the habit of reading book. After reading the book, how do you feel? If you feel good, then you'll be consistent in habit. And let's give example on bad habit. Let's take our great example, scrolling Instagram feed. It gets obvious, it gets easy, it gets attractive, it gets satisfying. You get a phone, it's become obvious to scroll Instagram feeds. You have Instagram, it becomes easy to see Instagram feed. And you just see that Instagram feed, it gets more attractive. And of course, When you see Instagram feed, everyone knows that feel good hormones such as dopamine, oxytocin comes to your mind. So it becomes satisfying. Now, the question is how I should be consistent in habit. Everybody faces the struggle. Everybody gets frustrated on getting consistent. In this part, James Clear gives a beautiful example on how to be consistent in habits. He gives a beautiful example of saying a man is assigned a job of breaking a rock. He bangs the rock for 10 times, the rock doesn't break. He bangs the rock for 50 times, the rock doesn't break. He bangs the rock for even for 150th time, the rock doesn't break. But the rock breaks at 154th time. It's not that the rock has broken because of that 154th bang. It's because the rock has broken because of the previous 153 bangs. Likewise, if you want to start fitness in your life, if you're not getting fit, if you're not losing weight, if you're not gaining weight after 4 months or 5 months, you should not get frustrated, because it's the process. You should believe in process. That's what James Clear tries to say in this example, and this is how you should be consistent in your life. If you're not losing weight after 3 months, you should believe in the process that it would happen eventually. If you're not gaining weight after 6 months, you should believe that I would gain weight after 6 months eventually. You should believe in process rather than focus on goals. Either way, guys, that's it for today's video.